Fan Club, and I'm here to ask you some questions from the fans. So we want to know some things about you. I'm really interested to communicate with you, and so I will find your questions from the Russian fans. And the first question is about you, so people really want to know. The first question is, what has influenced you as a beginner musician, and what bands and what music do you like besides heavy metal?
I guess to begin with was like Metallica and Slayer, and from there going into death metal and black metal. Today, listen to all kinds of music, mostly underground music, but not just metal. I really like bands like Swans, or in the Club of Gore, which is a kind of a doom jazz thing. I don't know, there's so many different kinds of bands that I like. I'm mostly open to everything. I love Duran Duran, it's 80s pop for those who don't know. So yeah, it's a lot of very different styles.
Yeah. And when did you begin playing drums, and why did you choose to be a drummer?
When I was 14, I bought my first drums. Don't know why, it's something that I always wanted to do. When I was maybe 10 or 12 or something, I was learning how to play a piano. And when I was going to piano classes, they had these, there was this book with all the instruments, and I always turned it straight to the drums. So that's something that always fascinated me. Don't know why, but I just liked it.
Also, I was asked to tell you that you have made the most awesome drum parts in social media, and they wanted me to tell you. And also,
nice to hear.
Yeah. So, next question is that I was also asked to tell you that one guy, his name is Nikita, and he's telling that the best music video he's ever seen is Laura.
Oh yeah.
He wanted to say that, and he's asking how was it screened and what was also something.
He probably likes it because of the Russian track, the Gas 69. Well, it was just based on a very simple idea of Ati playing the piano and the rest of the band kind of doing things around that. There wasn't very much thought behind it. There was much more thought behind the Fjara video, for example. The Fjara video is full of all kinds of symbols and symbolic things which really had a deep meaning behind it. The Launati video was more of just a, kind of just let's do it thing.
So there are also a couple of questions concerning social music that is like normal black. So there are a couple of questions, I will pronounce them word by word, how they were in Russian. The questions are, how did the band come up with the signature greasy sound? And how long have the guys been dwelling and experimenting with this during practicing and recording the album?
It just came up by, just being guys in a rehearsal room and playing music. There's no formula to follow. You just do what you want to do, and you do what you think sounds good. And it's very hard to say how do you come to a certain sound. How did you come to be the person you are today? You just kind of go through life. It's the same with music. How do you end up, writing this kind of music? You just go through a lot of processes. Some of them will take you down roads that you might not like very much, and then you go back to something that you did before, or you take all kinds of detours, and you end up in a certain place. I don't know why really. It just.
So this music just appeared itself the way it is.
Yeah. I mean, we all came from a heavy metal or a death metal background. Uh, I was never personally very much into classic heavy metal like AC/DC and that kind of thing. I think it's kind of stupid. It's beer drinking music. Um, I was more into, it's gonna sound bad, but I was more into intellectual music, music that made me think. In the late 90s, I got very much into post-metal bands like New Roses and stuff like that. So that also, I think, one of my favorite bands today, for example, has been for many years is Godspeed You Black Emperor. I don't know if you know them, but that really, for my part, I wanted to move Sólstafir's music out of typical heavy metal and go more into the epic, long, progressive things. But it also comes from black metal bands like Burzum. Burzum, I mean, Varg did this 20 years ago where he had songs that were almost 20 minutes long and kind of repetitive and got you into a kind of a trance. So, you know, it comes from all over.
There's also a question, at what point does a band turn into a business project, and is it possible for a business and actual music creating to exist together within the same project?
Yeah, I mean, sure, it's possible. Look at Metallica. I think Metallica are still doing what they want to do today, but they're still the biggest. You could say that Metallica is not just a band; it's a almost an industry. It's a company. You know, it's. So yeah, you can definitely do that, but where is the transaction? It's very hard to say where it is, because you start making music because you like it and because you love music. I don't know anybody that goes into music thinking I'm gonna make money. So somewhere along the process, things slowly change, and that often leads to a lot of problems, really, because when you got money involved in making any kind of creative art, it's going to change some people, and some people want to have a bigger piece of the pie than others, and some people want to steer the boat into waters that they think are more lucrative, that have more money involved. So, you know, there's a fine line between art and money, definitely.
And the following questions are more about the country, about Iceland. One girl asks, what is your favorite place in Iceland?
Oh, that's very hard to say because I've been all over Iceland, and I actually work as a driver guide at the moment. I drive so-called super jeeps, where I can, I drive people on glaciers and over mountains and whatnot, and into the interior of Iceland. I love the sea. I love the being by the sea, but I also love being up in the mountains. There's places. Usually, I like the places that have less people. The less people, the more I like the place, really. But there's tourist places like Landmannalaugar, for example, which are really beautiful in the interior of Iceland. Þórsmörk. There's really no place in Iceland that I don't really like.
And the second question about the subject is, how important do you think how important is to save the national element in your works, like writing songs in Icelandic and making music videos in the motherland, and how can it affect the band's popularity in the countries?
I think it was quite important for us. when we started out, we decided we wanted to have an Icelandic name, and we wanted to sing in English. We wanted to sing in Icelandic. Somewhere along the way, we started to sing in English, and we did that for a few years. And I mean, we tried to do it from a personal perspective, but I personally got very fed up with that, and I got fed up with Icelandic bands having English names, singing in English, and really having nothing in their sound that you could say was Icelandic. So I was very persistent that we would do the whole Svarti Santa album in Icelandic. I wrote most of the lyrics. For me, that was very important. Same with Otta, and I mean Icelandic as in, you know, not this stupid cartoonist Viking thing. You know, that's so fake. I wanted to connect with the Icelandic subconscious in a way. It might sound kind of silly, but I wanted it to be something that when every single Icelandic person would hear that album, there was something that they could connect with and connect it to Iceland. For me, this is very important. I don't know for the rest of the bands. I have a feeling that their next album is going to be at least partly in Icelandic because, you know, like I talked about, some people want to steer the boat into more lucrative waters where there's more money involved. When you sing in your native tongue that only 330,000 people speak, you're obviously setting some limitations on your marketing. You know, if you sing in English about teen angst, there's millions and millions of teenagers around the world that might connect to that and buy your album. But not the same about Icelandic. So, but for me, the artistic integrity was more important than everybody understanding the lyrics or everybody wanted to buy the album because the lyrics spoke to them.
So you told that now you're driving cars. What can you say? How your life is going on now? What do you do? And doesn't it hurt playing drums?
Well, I mostly play. I mostly drive. Like you said, I drive big cars, big jeeps. You know, I do that almost every day, and I get to travel around Iceland, which I love. And me and my girlfriend are about to have a baby in February, so yeah.
I want to congratulate you with that.
Oh yeah, thank you. Thank you. So yeah, I mean that's some of the positive things in my life. Of course, there are negative things in my life at the moment. I'm basically fighting for my rights concerning the band, and I'm taking that to court. Like I told you before, I wish I could tell you all about it, but I really can't at the moment. It will, of course, just come to light when it happens. But everything I have said about it so far is still valid, and really nothing has changed there. So.
Goes the same way.
Yeah, basically, and I just hope that this won't take forever. You know, because going to court is a very long and tedious and hard process. It's not a quick solution. So some people have said to me, "Oh, you know, just take it to court," and you know, like it's just like going to the grocery shop. It's not. It's a very long and hard and stressful process. But you know, we'll see. I don't know how it's gonna end, but we'll see.
We hope for the better. And there's also a question from one of the fans. So you are taking pictures, and also you've written, you said a lot of lyrics for the band. And aren't you thinking about, for example, publishing an illustrated book of poems?
Yeah, I thought about it definitely. At some point, I will definitely make a book with my photography, and possibly I'll include some of my writing, because the two are connected the same way as with the music. It really all comes from the same place. It's all influenced by kind of Icelandic nature in a way, and so yeah, I think it all might come very well together. So maybe I'll do a album with a book and some poetry. I don't know.
It's very good. And I think the last question is, would you like to live maybe somewhere else except Iceland? Maybe Russia?
No. I mean, Russia is probably fine. Unfortunately, I didn't get the chance to go to Russia. It was when all this shit came up. We were going on a tour, and the place that I looked most forward to visit on that tour was Russia. I've always wanted to go there. I don't know why, but I always wanted to go there. Haven't been there yet, but hopefully one day I will be able to visit Russia. But as for living, I lived in London for 3 years, and it was really good for me just to get away from Reykjavik. But when I came back, I was I was very happy about living in Reykjavik, and I feel this is really where I belong, and I wouldn't want to live anywhere else.
It's a very beautiful place, I think. So we have also a gift for you, and I hope you will like it. So this is the views of Russia, made from the above. So here you will see their pictures, and they are pretty. So I hope you will look through it and you will decide to visit
Definitely
one
will.
day.
Yeah.
Because Russia is a huge country with a lot
It
of
is.
nations. People speak a lot of languages, and the nature. In Iceland, we also have mountains, glaciers, waterfalls, and volcanoes and everything.
Yeah, you have it all really. Deserts. I mean, I would love to visit Siberia, for example, and some of the more less populated areas of Russia. Maybe one day I'll